when Bruce Lee was alive, he didn't like that fake like flying in the air, that bullshit martial
Yeah.
arts stuff. Like he didn't like that.
It's not-
He didn't like
right?
he didn't like that fancy crap. He wanted to show like this is the real stuff, right? And that becomes his limitation. Because then he'll be like, you know what? I'm not working on backflips because what does that have to do with fighting?
Exactly.
You know, I'm not gonna work on this because what does that have to do with fighting? So that's his mentality. That becomes his limitation. And you see, even for me, I got my own limitations. Like I'm not integrating gay sex into my way of fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my limitation. I don't do that. Like I don't like I'm not gonna do that, man. But somebody else could come and say, hey, you know what? This is beyond Freddie Lee, because in this fighting method, there's gay sex. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I have my own limitations, man. Like I'm not doing the gay sex for fighting, dude. Like that's not what we're gonna be doing here. You know, so
Yeah, one time, my cousin trying to put me in like arm bars. Not his ass, man. Get off me.
So I mean, everybody's gonna have their limitations. You know, boxers gonna be like, you know what, we don't believe in kicking. The
Yeah.
Taekwondo people would be like, you know what, we don't believe in punching.
Yeah,
You know,
kicking is more powerful than punching. That's what they're gonna say.
yeah, yeah. You know, and like everybody is gonna, you know, like the cage fighters. We don't believe in guns. We don't believe in knives and weapons. We don't believe in any of that stuff. You know, I mean, everybody's gonna have their limitations. You know, and basically, I learned to kind of like not be restricted by Bruce Lee. Like I understand, like practicality is important, but fitness and creativity is very important too. So like the ability to be creative and be able to do something with your body that you weren't able to do the day before, I think is a great thing to try to challenge yourself with. You know what I'm saying? Like when you learn how to defend yourself, it's not that hard and it's very basic. Now you got the basics down. Now what else can you do? You know, so like the nunchucks things, for example. I'm doing a lot of stuff that you wouldn't ever do in real combat, but it's just like training like better hand-eye coordination, better control of like the nunchuck, and being able to like just basically take it beyond just the basics.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, you know what? I could do a lot of push-ups now. Well, can I do a full plank push-up now? Can I? And it was Bruce Lee that was the one that did the 2-finger push-up. You know what I'm saying? You know, now can you do a 1-finger push-up? I mean, it's like going beyond the basics. Oh, I could do a bunch of pull-ups now. Well, can you do a muscle-up? Can you do an iron cross? I mean, it's like going beyond the basics is basically showing like how much hard work you could do. You know what I'm saying? Like, what could you do with your body? You know, you could fight now. Okay, I'll give you that. But what else can you do?
Yeah, can you understand like scientific books? Can you understand Buddha? Can you understand Lao Tzu? Can you understand Jesus?
Yeah, but not just understand it, but then beyond that, just be like, can you live it? You know what I'm saying? You can understand it, but if you don't live it, hey, you know, they understand it, but then they're still like acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like living it is important. I mean, the most important.
Yeah,
You know?
living it actually means that you truly understand the teachings. Otherwise, like if you just like understand it, and not live it, it's pretty much like you don't understand it at all.
But then it is, you know, it is hard to live it in this world that we live in today. You know, I bet you it's easier back then to live that way than it is today. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, for example, you know, to be committed to one woman back then was easier because there's no freaking porn. You know what I'm saying? But now, shit, there's like freaking all these naked women everywhere, flash and everything, and it's like, it's hard.
Music videos and stuff. Like even Beyonce, like she made a music video that's pretty explicit.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard it would be to be committed to one woman.
Yeah. You know, it's harder nowadays. I mean, even like back then, you know, oh, you know, like, you know, let's do this marriage thing and we'll stay together forever, just us. But now because of Facebook, man, I mean, all these people constantly trying to contact you, it's harder. It's going to be harder to be committed. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with the martial arts school. I mean, it's like you find one teacher and you like him, but then all of a sudden you like go on the internet and you find all these other teachers that you like even more. And then you're like, oh, you know, I don't like this teacher anymore. I want this one. It's harder, you know. It's like it's just harder for that loyalty and that commitment in modern time. So it's harder to live the way. You know, the way might be like, hey, you know, minimizing your desires. But we live in a society where the desires are like at the touch of your fingertips. Like you type in one website, you see like a 1,000 girls like naked. You know what I'm saying? Like it never was like that in the past.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the girls in the past, they don't dress the way that they do now.
Yep.
You know, it's like just like Bruce Lee's time, like unarmed combat might have been more relevant because maybe guns were more strictly controlled. And maybe back then there was no semi-automatic. Maybe it was just revolvers.
Yeah.
But now you got semi-automatic pistols everywhere and everybody's getting armed. It's a different world. You know, it's not this unarmed combat anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so different times. So you're learning from these teachings of the East, these like the, you know, this wisdom of the East, to apply it to today is not as easy as you may think. You know, like, yeah, it's easy to be peaceful if nobody's talking shit to me. But you got people freaking emailing me, leaving comments, calling me on the phone with anger and aggression. What, you expect me not to come back with something? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't read the emails, if I don't look at the comments, it's easy to be peaceful. I'm cool. But then somebody sends me a message, say, you know what, you're a piece of shit, F you. All right, so then, okay, I'm going to come back then. You know what I mean? Do you understand? You know, it's easy to be, like, peaceful if you're by yourself. But as soon as you start having, like, all these roommates and they start, like, waking you up in the middle of the morning, they start pissing all over the floor, they start eating up your food, they start creating all this mess all over your home, you're going to get pissed off. Like, what the fuck, dude? You ain't even paying the rent, and you're messing up my whole damn home. And I'm trying to sleep here, and you're waking me up. You understand? So, I mean, it's like, people are like, you know, quick to criticize, oh, he's not wise because he's angry. You don't understand, dude.
Well, Jesus was angry as well. In case these people don't understand. Like, you know, when they were commercialize his temple, for example, he got enraged so much that he threw out everything. He like breaks everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but it's interesting that you mentioned that. You know, and if it is true, then that's a good example. You know what I'm saying? That, like, people think that, oh, a wise person, a sage, just never gets angry. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in modern times. Or like they're saying, oh, a sage would never have sex. Never. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's like, just because somebody has sex doesn't mean that they're not a sage. You know what I'm saying? You know, so...
And that's the problem I have with the Christian mentality as well. You know, I think they're trying as the best to condemn sex. And to me, it's like you're trying to condemn life. I mean, sex itself is a life energy, you know?
Yeah.
After you have sex, you relax, you're cool.
Yeah,
I think that should be good for you.
Yeah, I think like them, they just corrupted Jesus' teachings under his name. Mm-hmm. Like, to even call it the Christians, it's like a disgrace. It's like a disgrace to Jesus. Yeah. Like, I don't even know much about Jesus, but I just kind of feel that, you know, his stuff was real wisdom, and then you got a bunch of idiots that just messed it all up to use it to control people. You know what I'm saying?
To make people drink alcohol, like wines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Jesus never transformed water into wine. I think that's probably not true at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like they basically corrupt Jesus' teachings the way that they're currently corrupting Bruce Lee's teachings.
Oh yeah.
They turned Bruce Lee's teachings to MMA. They turned Jesus' teachings to Christianity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jesus didn't come up with the label, though. He did not come up with the label Christianity, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know this stuff, but these are like really good examples that when you study Christianity and you know this stuff, these are great examples to show like how corrupted, like things like religion and the martial arts and how it works, because it's very similar. The way martial arts is corrupted is the same exact reason why religion is so damn corrupted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like Osho for the martial arts. Like Osho's talking shit about all religions, and everybody was pissed off at him.
Even Buddhism as well.
He was talking shit about every single religion out there, man. Everybody hated him. Same thing with me in the martial arts, man. I'm talking shit about all the martial arts, and man, everybody hates me. And you know what? Now that I think about that, it makes me even want to talk more shit. Because Osho, he would have backed me up, because that's what he did with religion. He talked about all of them, man. Everybody hated him, man. But then after he died, then there was a lot more people that started appreciating him. That's kind of how I feel with the martial arts. It's like it's all corrupted. Like it's all thoroughly corrupted. And then talking, he was talking a lot, he was promoting a lot of Buddha's teachings, but yeah, he would talk trash about Buddhism. That's like me talking trash about Wing Chun, or me talking trash about Jeet Kune Do. It's just like that's still not the way. I mean, these monks, for example, and the way that they're living is not the way. Even though they're not violent people, but there's still something wrong there. There's a lot of sexual repression, and there's a lot of conformity. There's a lot of basically turning them into mechanical robot type of things. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. Some of the people online, they will tell me that, oh man, I like you, but you shouldn't be under Sifu Freddie because he's not enlightened. He's always talking trash about every single thing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you like me, but I don't appreciate that you attack him just because he felt something and he feel like he needs to express it.
Yeah.
And you on him for that. That's not fair to me.
Yeah. I mean,